Hello, I'm quickly dropping a video to show off the new version of the sheet. We're coming on to version 4. This is a test version I've been doing with Wolves to see how it all works and make sure there's no bugs and just general issues. I'll be doing these in short videos showing off each new section, all the things we've added from the previous versions, and also give a quick explanation of how each one works and what you'll need to do when you're doing your own career. So this is the starting page. As you can see, it's exactly the same as before with a few extra bits now. So once again, you'll choose your country, you'll choose the league, and then you'll choose the team that you want to do. All the rest of the information should populate for you. On the right here, we've got some extra little bits now. So what you got is a database which now holds each single football club has got a state of club, which basically represents the team's quality currently, the reputation, and the history. So reputation and history are slightly different and new compared to before. So quality will just be based off the team's average score. So when it's attack, mid, and defence, it will have a score for each one. You combine the three and work out the average, and that's your average team overall. So currently Wolves is sitting at 75. Reputation. So I used Football Manager mainly to kind of dig up through the database to kind of score each team. So that's currently their standing in world football. So as you can see, Wolves standing at 66. So obviously the bigger the club, the higher the reputation. When you start at smaller clubs, you'll be a much lower reputation. And then you've got history. So depending on what the club has done in the past, whether it's win trophies or have a standing in world football for doing something, they'll have a bigger history, or they might have no history included. Now with the history score, it was only teams of the top 5,000, I think. So anyone who sits out of that just automatically gets a score of 0. There was no bias. I used a certain website that kind of generated history from the beginning of football, not just a modern era. So some people's history, you might look at a club thinking, they haven't got any history, and then you realise when you look back in like 100 years ago, there was winning trophies. So in which case, that would actually be part of this history score. It's fairly up to date as far as I'm aware. And you might see some teams have the same history score, and that's because it was bracketed into standings of 10. So the team who's got the best history in the world currently is Real Madrid, for obviously every Champions Leagues they've won and things like that. But they will have the same score as the 10th top team. And the reason being, so that way I can get a correct kind of scoring chart all the way down. Otherwise, the score would have been all over the place. But yeah, so if you do see any of the similar number, it's fine. It does work. It is correct. That's just the way it's been done. Just below that, you've got what's known as facilities. So this basically now tells you what state. So that's 5 different rankings: poor, average, good, very good, and I think there's one in the middle, regular maybe. We'll see that when I do the upgrades page. But that basically now on the when you start up, you'll know where they are without having to look up this. Look it up yourself. This will also help when you're doing your upgrades. You'll know where to start from, and the same for the stadium capacity. Obviously, that's already in there. Okay, so that's the first section. The next bit is the stats page, which has no changes. As you can see, it's all pretty much exactly the same. I've just left it as it is, new colouring, and that's about it. Objectives. This is pretty much all similar. The only difference is now your starting team quality and your starting club reputation gets preloaded for you from the database. So you won't have to do anything. If for any reason as the game progresses and you need to change your start quality, let's say you sell a couple of players or you buy a couple of players and all of a sudden your reputation has changed, all you'll need to do is go into the team quality modifier, and let's say you're now 77, so you just put 2 in there, and then your quality will go up to 77. And obviously, depending on that, we'll choose some of the objectives for you. If you're new to the sheet and you want to select a new objective, you have to make sure that the little red for this one generates based on your quality. So there's nothing you can do for that. You just leave it as it is. The transfer policy and brand, you can see there's a little red check mark. What this means is it's basically a drop-down box, but I've just kind of designed it to look hidden, so it's not as ugly. But what you'll need to do is you'll double click on it, and then it'll load up your new objective. So once you've select that, if this comes up, that's fine, just press OK. And all you need to do is double click again, and there you go. That's your actual one. So this one, transfer policy, sell to buy. So brand, same again, double click, and there's your new objective. If for any reason you notice the red little marker isn't there, what will happen is when you double click it, it'll keep loading the same one. That's fine, but all you need to do is just click the achieved, unclick it, and the red marker comes back. And that's it, that's a simple. Now, what these objectives for are, as you play through the game, you'll have objectives from your board, your fans, and your team promises. Now, if you achieve them, you'll tick them so you can keep track. At the end of the season, if you have achieved, depending on the number, will depend on what rewards and forfeits. These have now been updated. So now this has a base on your reputation. So the better you do in football, the more your reputation will go up. And I'll explain what the reputation is actually going to be for later on. But as you can see here, so if you only achieve one of these tasks, you have to -3 from your club reputation. So these are quite important now. If you get 2, you get nothing, and if you get all 3, you get to add 1 to your reputation modifier. So let's say I managed to win promotion, I did a policy of sell to buy, and I increased the club value by 20%. I can come to here and I can add an extra 1, and then my club's reputation is up to 67. And then the same again for these fan objectives and team promises. So if you have a good season, do all the objectives, potentially you can put your reputation up by 3. And looks like it's going to have a good bearing on future incidents, so having a higher reputation works the better for you. Okay, so that's the objectives done. So trophies, it's just simple cabinet for you. I've just put some images in, put the league history, things like that. But what I've also got now at the bottom is you've got the starting club history here, and basically your history will go up and down depending on what trophies you're winning. So if you win a league title, so depending on what league you're in, you get to add a 2 to your modifier. So let's say win the championship, you'll get 2. If you get a domestic cup, which is your FA Cups, your Charity Shields, and things like that, and obviously depending on which league you're going to play in, you get to add a 1. And then if you win a continental cup, it's also a 2 as well. Your history also has a standing, like similar to reputation, so it's important to start doing that as well. So you'll use that. Next, we've got upgrades. So this is one from the starting sheet, and once again, like I said, it's how your team will start, and then how you can purchase upgrades later to improve the quality of the game and things like that for you. So coaches, it tells you here what the perks are. So as you can see, looks at the rating: poor, average, good, strong, and elite. So if I go back to the starting page, you can see all the facilities are good. So we're going to go back to the upgrades. So for coaches, scouts, youth scout, and scouting network, they're all good. So we've ticked good for each one, and that's what we start them as. And it tells us what the perks are. So for coaches, unlimited 3-star coaches, 3 position changes, and 3 development plans per season. Scouts, you get 4 3-star scouts, and you can do 4 instructions. They get 3-star experience, 3-star for experience and 3-star for judgment. You can do up to, so if there's people that's like 3-star judgment and 2-star experience, they're perfectly fine. You can hire them, but you can't exceed that. Same thing for youth scouts and coaches. You can see all the perks are there. Let's say you want to increase your fitness because you're having struggling. You'll pay the money into a certain area, and then you just tick that next box, untick the previous one, and then it'll carry on from there. So you'll then be strong, and you'll get the perks for that one. Underneath your stadium upgrades, so your stadium capacity, you will tick the box depending on where your current seating is. So when we go back to the starting, you can see Wolves' current stadium, Molineux, holds 31,750. So we go back to upgrades. So we find the range, and we can see it fits into there. So we tick that one. And then under merchandise, this applies for the same as the other. So it's good. So we just tick, and then we know where we are. Once again, if you want to do upgrades, you pay the cost, and then you untick, and then tick the next one. That's going to be it for this video, just to keep it short, and then I'll I'll keep them on segments just to make it easy for people to find. So that's how they start up the game, pretty much. Yep, I'll see you in video 2.